quoted, "Success does not come with ability, it comes with determination." This studio has been a witness to the testimonials of our Louisians who excelled in their academic or professional endeavors. Each person who shared their story here overcame great challenges in order to achieve the success they have today. On the 7th episode of Louisian Up Close, we shall listen to the inspirational story of a Louisian who doubted his capabilities to pass the board exam. Why did he have self-doubt? How did he make it to the national board ranking as he tagged himself as an average Louisian student? Hosted by the Assistant to the University Marketing and Internationalization Officer, Ms. 𝗪𝗪ce𝗂𝗲, let's unfold another story of success of a Louisian graduate. Let's have open eyes to be inspired by life's possibilities, open ears to be moved by smart choices, and open hearts to be reminded of life's highest meaning. Let's get to know architect Jaren Cornelio, top 9 nationwide in the June 2023 Architecture Licensure Examination. Watch and listen to his story here in Louisian Up Close.
What a fantastic way to start the day! For this episode of the Louisian Up Close, we are again joined by an alumnus from the School of Engineering, Architecture and Information Technology Education, who recently brought distinction to the university by becoming one of the top-notchers nationwide. Once again, I'm 𝗪𝗪ce𝗂𝗲, your host. Welcome to another inspiring episode of the Louisian Up Close. Here with me today is none other than architect Jaren Cornelio, our top 9 nationwide top-notcher from the recently held Architecture Licensure Examination. For our first question, architect, how does it feel being one of the nationwide top-notchers?
It feels surreal. I did not plan nor ever imagine that I would be part of the top 10. I was only hoping and praying that I would at least pass. It's unbelievable. I thought it would change a lot of things for me. A lot of people definitely recognize my capabilities, and their perception of me definitely changed. However, I don't think something changed within me. The people I love and care about still think of me the same way. I think I'm still the same Jaren as I was before I became a top-notcher. With other people, they treat me better than they did before. In that regard, how people treat me, there's a huge gap with being who I am before and who I am now. Generally, being a top-notcher don't feel that much of a change at all. I'm feeling proud of myself. I feel like I've made all the right decisions. I feel as if my decisions going forward would be in the right side. But in hindsight, I felt that way even before I became a top-notcher. I always felt that way with my achievements and even with my mistakes. Because I knew that mistakes are just opportunities for me to learn and grow. To sum it up, apart from the special treatment from others, being a top-notcher feels surreal and elating. It doesn't feel like I changed as a person, but it definitely feels that there's an additional reason for me to be more proud of myself. I'm just happy that I made my family proud as well, although I'm sure that they're gonna be proud of me regardless.
Indeed, blessings taste sweeter when they are unexpected. Architect, I love the part where you specified that you are still the same Jaren that you were before being a top-notcher. Also, I admire how you turn negativities into positivities. I guess that mentality is one of the reasons why you became a top-notcher. Now, moving on to our second question. Architect, what was your initial reaction when you learned that you are one of the top-notchers?
I was shocked to say the least. I was so sure that I wouldn't pass the board because of how difficult it was. When the results came out, I didn't bother to check the top 10 list because I was convinced that I wouldn't be a part of it. I checked the list of passers and felt like the weight on my shoulders was lifted. I sighed with relief knowing that I made the right choices. Proud of myself for passing, elated that my efforts were not for naught. It was when my friend architect Mitzi Reyes relayed the message that I was part of the top 10. I rolled my eyes in disbelief and laughed at what I thought was a prank. Only when I verified for myself that I indeed become a top-notcher. It was a surreal moment. Many thoughts were rushing to my mind. many emotions trying to fight for dominance. Truth be told, I felt pressured. I knew that being a top-notcher meant that people would have their eyes on me all the time, keeping up with my career with their scrutinizing gaze, putting me on a pedestal that I knew would break me down into tiny pieces. I was proud of myself, but I felt like there's a huge thundercloud forming around me, a storm that would take me away from my sanity. Good thing that the following day I had time to sort out my thoughts and emotions. I felt silly that I didn't celebrate such a huge milestone. Since then, I just let everything flow into a calmer direction. I became more positive with my outlook in life and realized that it doesn't matter what people think of me. What matters is what I think of myself. Sure, there's still pressure, but it's just in the corner of my mind now.
Architect, I can just imagine your reaction after knowing that you were a top-notcher. Being a top-notcher is like reaping what you sow. It is not just title, but it is the manifestation of all your hard work. What I can say is that never mind the people around you, just continue to do your best and excel in everything that you do. Now, Architect, how did you prepare for the exam?
During the pandemic, I decided to meditate and self-reflect on my life and choices I've made in the past. I realized a lot of things about myself. One of those things is that I tend to make decisions so hastily without thinking of the long-term effect. It's one of the things that I decided to change about me. This change became handy when I started reviewing. I knew that I couldn't just end my apprenticeship and start reviewing. I made sure first that I was ready and that I have a plan that wouldn't compromise my goals. Even though I already completed my apprenticeship at that time, I knew that I wasn't ready to start reviewing yet. I was addicted to gaming and social media. I was also lazy. This would become obstacles for me if I started reviewing. So what I did is that I spent the last half of 2022 to acclimate my mind and body with the potential review schedule that I've made. Slowly, I reduced my time in gaming and browsing different social media apps daily until I stopped gaming completely and only spending 1 hour on social media per day. It was all for my review and it was worth it. During the review, from January to June 2023, I made sure to take care of my mental health above all. I adjusted my schedule to accommodate with my circadian rhythm. It meant that I had to wake up very early and sleep at appropriate time. I only ate foods that would benefit the mind, i.e. greens. I exercised to boost my stamina, improve my memory, and reduce anxiety. I slept for 8 hours a day, and most importantly, I rested if I felt overloaded with information. Due to this, I was quick to adapt with my schedule. I never lost interest in reviewing, and I was constantly learning 8 hours a day, 6 days a week. It was all possible due to the preparations I did before reviewing. Also, I really wanted to pass the board. I think that was a huge factor why I was willing to change my habits.
You're right, Architect. Discipline is a key to success. Also, sacrifices make you treasure victory more than anything else. Thank you, Architect, for sharing good points on how to prepare for an incoming examination. I hope that our viewers will also be able to apply those strategies in the future. For our fourth question, Architect, who are your inspirations behind this success?
My family, especially my mama and my grandparents. I didn't want to let them down and waste all their efforts to raise and support me. They never pressured me during the review, and instead they helped in calming me down when I was at the verge of giving up. Truth be told, I wanted to postpone my exam because of the pressure I felt from other people. They always told me that I would pass the exam with the knowledge I accumulated at that time. They said that it's a given fact that I would pass. I think they didn't realize that their words wouldn't help when someone is at their most vulnerable mentally. I recognized that they just believed in my capabilities and were trying to pull me from the darkness that was swallowing me. But their words just added pressure and weight that I couldn't help but ignore. It was only my mama and the rest of my family who, despite believing in me like my friends, they never said the same words to me. Instead, they showed their support by telling me that what I was feeling was normal. They recognized my hardships and the anxiety that I felt. They told me it was fine to fail. They told me that failing is normal and I could just retake the board if I didn't pass the first time. Those words cut the anchor from dragging me down. I was lifted and pushed through with the exam. I am thankful to have a supportive family like them. They inspired me to just be myself, and I didn't want to waste that. Lastly, and this is a little bit obscure, but one of my inspirations was myself. I don't want to sound conceited, so I'm going to explain it further. During the pandemic, I did a lot of self-meditation, as I said before. I realized that I wasted a lot of my potential, that when I was a kid I had the shiniest wheels and growing up they're rusting, that I was so ahead of the curve and the curve became a spear. I let my younger self down. I imagined that my past self would be disappointed to what I have become. That thought is what awakened me. That thought was one of the driving forces behind my success. I didn't want to have regrets and look back again in the future to find my past self disappointed. So I made sure that future me would be proud, and I can definitely say that I am proud of the decisions I made in the past year.
Indeed, architect, support from our loved ones brings out the best of us. Nothing could be compared to the dedication of our family to shower us with love. Therefore, I believe you being a top-notcher is one of their proudest moments. Now that you are a licensed architect, what will be your next step?
Right now, I'm currently working. I want to continuously provide to my family, help my younger brother with his education, buy a property, and build a house. As for myself, I want to polish my talents, acquire new skills, never stop learning, and to prioritize my mental health over anything.
Architect, it's very heartwarming to hear that you are still including your family in your plans. The way you prioritize your well-being is a behavior that must be applied not only by our students, but by everyone who is feeling worn out by all the challenges in life. Architect, I feel very honored right now, for I am speaking with a person who possesses a very vibrant view of life. Now, architect, what will be your advice for the students who are also aspiring to become a top-notcher or an architect?
Here's a list of advice that I would be giving to my younger self that I think would also be helpful to the future architects. Prioritize your mental health. That's number one. You don't need to sacrifice your sanity over education and success. It's better to be in the right mind and succeed slowly than falling into depression just for a fleeting moment of happiness. Remember that success is not a matter of how many things you achieve, but it's a matter of happiness. If you set your mind in a good light, then you'll find that success only comes when you're happy, and happiness comes from a well-taken care mental health. Number two, never procrastinate. I know that it's easy to do this if you're given 5 or more plates at a time. It's easy to be overwhelmed and feeling like your plate is full, that it makes you want to do nothing and wait for the time that you'll be pressured to do your plates. If a plate or any activity is given, don't waste any time and postpone doing it. You'll save more time and you'll find it more calming to finish everything before deadlines. Number 3, manage your time well. This comes hand in hand with number 2. Learn to set goals and calculate the time to finish them. Allot allowances so you can have extra time to revise if there's a mistake that you've encountered later on. Sort out your priorities and make sure to take rest if you feel burnt out. Number 4, put in the effort. I found that life is easier when you put your heart into doing whatever you want and need to do. Do not do anything half-baked. Do not do anything unwillingly. You must put in the effort and be constant with the amount you put in. Number 5, never afraid to reach out. If you feel alone or hopeless, don't try to handle it alone. Find people that will help you and can provide great advices. For me, it was my mama. And lastly, number 6, always pray. Remember that God wouldn't give you battles that you can't win, and that He gives them to you because He knows how strong you are. At times where it gets hard, don't shy away from Him.
I couldn't agree more, architect. Indeed, prioritizing ourselves should be put first before anything else, and every hard work could become a success with the presence of God. I hope our dear Louisians will also be inspired by your words and will be able to carry the same principles when it comes to dealing with their studies. Architect, how would you describe your life as a Louisian?
I would love to say that I was studious and a paragon for being a great student, but I wasn't. I did everything just enough to pass, enough to have good designs for my plates. Sometimes I wasn't even putting enough effort. It was only my sharp memory that made me pass the exams and eventually graduate. It's a regret of mine, but I couldn't blame myself as well because during that time I was at my lowest and fought silent battles. Nevertheless, my life as a Louisian wasn't so bad. I enjoyed every moment I had in USL, surrounded by my friends who were my hobby pills, and be guided by our instructors who always supported us with our studies. Overall, it's a part of my life that I wouldn't forget. I'm proud of it and I'll cherish it forever.
Well, Architect, I believe that our Louisians can also relate on your shared experiences here in the university. And as you have stated, during hard times, friends and family will always be there to revitalize your strength. For our 8th question, Architect, have you encountered challenges when you were a student, and how did you overcome those challenges?
With my studies, almost none. I'm blessed to have not encountered anything that would hinder me from passing any subject. However, as I mentioned, I fought silent battles. I was dealing with my deteriorating mental health. It has nothing to do with my studies. Surprisingly, the hardships of studying almost never affected me apart from a time where I considered shifting to another course, which had little to do with how hard it was to study architecture. It was more of my personal ambitions, but I'm glad that I didn't entertain the idea for long. Studying architecture was difficult. It came with challenges, but I won't consider them as such because they're normal when you're in college. I'm sure that our teachers never gave us plates, activities, assignments, and the likes that would stop us from our tracks in becoming architects. Most of the time, what stops us is ourselves. I thank God every day for making me separate my battles with anxiety and depression from my studies, or else I wouldn't be here.
Thank you, Architect. Indeed, challenges are part of life. Therefore, the only way to win against them is to have a positive mindset. For our next question, Architect, how would you describe USL as an educational institution?
When I decided to take up architecture, USL was the only university that checked all my requirements to study the course. I learned that Louisian architects are one of the best in the industry, and they were right. USL helped in shaping me to become the architect that I am now. It's an outlet for intellectual and spiritual guidance, a source of endless possibilities, an institution for carving, polishing, and building future architects the society would be proud of.
Architect, on behalf of the Louisian community, I would like to thank you for all your kind words towards the university. You are truly an inspiration to everyone. Once again, we appreciate Architect Jaren for taking the time to tell us about his journey to success. I am certain that the students who similarly desire to uphold dignity and inspire others were inspired by your story. That ends our episode for today. Dear Louisians, we hope to see you again on our next episode of inspiring and heartwarming stories. Once again, I am your host, 𝗪𝗪Ce𝗂𝗶𝘀𝗶, and this is Louisian Up Close.